Dan, when you look at through the, you guys have had struggled scoring points early in games. It's been a trend now for a while. I mean, at this point, what do you guys do to try to fix that? Do you keep doing the same thing over and over? Do you try to execute better? Or do you switch it up? Kind of what's the approach?
No, we just got to find a way to get in the end zone. You know, we can't beat ourselves with penalties or negative plays. You know, that's a big key to scoring early.
You guys were only able to think of like 12 points off turnovers. Now that you've had a chance to go back and look at the tape from last week, just can you diagnose or put your finger on kind of what was holding you back there?
We won. That's all that matters.
You remember when you're playing against an explosive offense, obviously you've done this a lot, but you've got a bunch of young guys on offense. Watch the Kelseys and watch the Knowles when they're in college or something. You kind of have to keep reminding them, hey, we got to just do what we do. Don't try to play. Don't make this us against them kind of thing.
For sure, which isn't always the easiest thing to do when you watch an offense like that. But you know, taking care of the ball is obviously huge. Not turning it over, which we didn't last week, which is key to victory. So we can not turn it over if we can try and even in a team like this, you say, okay, if you possess the ball, that helps. But they can obviously score really fast and do some amazing things. So we just got to be smart and play our game, like you say, and that's going to be the key no matter what's happened. And I think that's one of the things, going off your question from earlier, is we may not be doing well early, but it doesn't. No one really ever panics. It's like, okay, let's find a way to get back into it, and whether it's play calling or plays, guys aren't really stressing, which I think is shows a lot of growth for a young team.
Ben, is there any sense in the room of, hey, we haven't played our best ball, but we're a half game out with 3 to play, and that's still in front of us?
A little bit. I mean, if you've been doing this for a while, then obviously rookies will understand, but really you just got to get in, right? And you got to peak at the right time. And I'm not saying we're peaking or we're close to it, but we're winning the games that we are the close games where we're coming back, we're fighting. So we know that there's a little bit of life, and we'll just keep fighting 1 week at a time.
Speaking of that, Ben, what do you remember about some of the seasons where you guys have finished strong? I think since you've been here, there's 5 or 6 times you ended on at least a 3-game win streak. Like, what was it about those teams that allowed them to really kind of walk in and, like I said, finish strong?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what seasons those were, but I assume you had good leadership and guys that know what it takes to finish, and hopefully we have that this year.
Then what are your last time you guys played them? I think it was Mahomes' second start or whatever.
Okay.
Obviously had a big day that day. Do you remember anything about the game from watching him, thinking, man, that kid might have something?
I don't remember anything from that game specifically, but I think from day one, I think we all saw how special of a player he had the potential to be and is proven to be. Some of the stuff he does is pretty amazing.
Your game's postponed this week. The Chiefs have a kind of a COVID situation right now. When you look at that, does it kind of feel like that here we go again from last season when there was that stretch of kind of uncertainty, postponements, and things changing around?
A little bit, but obviously we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe they'll just make it a doubleheader for Monday of next week. I don't know. We'll see.
But how do you draw on that from kind of the confusion of last year?
You don't worry about it because it's out of our control. So we can't worry about things we can't control.
Did you plan to start watching the Browns game on Monday night?
A little bit, because my son is such he wants to watch every game, so it's on. So it was there. I wasn't glued to it, but it was on.
But it's obvious, Jeff's question, but things are obviously so tight, and I think this is as tight as it's been in this division, even as long as you've been playing. I mean,
right.
What do you make it? Why do you think nobody's been able to kind of run away and grab it?
I mean, the whole AFC feels like it's kind of a jumbled mess at times. So I'm not really sure why. I think I think our division could be argued as one of the toughest in the NFL, and so we're constantly beating each other up and playing some. Our competition that we're playing this year is obviously we have the #1 schedule. I'm not sure what the other guys had, but it's not easy out there.
With Pat in the concussion protocol, what have you seen from Gentry and Kevin Rader?
Obviously Zach's been here for a little bit, and a guy that we trust and knows the offense, and might not be the most explosive guy, but he's a guy you can trust. It's going to make the plays, and last week he made a really big play for us. So, it's if we don't have Pat, it won't be great, but you have to have faith in Zach and obviously Rader if he's up to do what we need them to do.
What specifically were they doing last week to kind of take Deontay away from you? Rolling safeties?
Yeah, doing some extra stuff, 22-man stuff, putting 2 people on him. Even if they weren't necessarily doubling him, it's like guys kind of lean in or looking. So, and there were times that he was open that I missed him. and you hate that because you don't get those opportunities too often. And so that's on me to take advantage of a really good football player when he gets those one-on-ones or beats a guy.
There would be times in the past with another certain receiver where you would even still throw the football to him when he was done with coverage, trusting him to do that. Is Deontay getting to that point for you?
For sure. Yeah, there's a lot of trust and faith and belief there, and he's shown that he's a reliable receiver, and just it's fun watching him grow.
Then we're going to talk to Kendrick later today. How would you describe your guys' relationship? How it's gone through the year?
It's been great. I think he took some heat in this building specifically after the Minnesota game for some of the snaps. And I walked in today, I said, hey, good job, no bad snaps. Everyone wants to get on you when there's bad snaps, but no one says good job when there's no bad snaps. So just wanted to reinforce to him that I think he's doing a great job. His job is not easy. I mean, it's not like he's a player that's played center his whole life and, he's just making the transition. He's a guy that's got very few center snaps, and we ask our center to make some calls, quite a bit of calls. Identification stuff, I'll help him out with some things, but for the most part, he's doing most of it. And then you got to snap the ball and then block a guy in front of you. So all those things considered, I think he's done a great job.
Minka was telling us Monday you could kind of feel a little bit of a lull last year at the end of the season when you guys hit that rough patch. I mean, did you sense that at all? And this year, how does the leadership on this team make sure that doesn't happen?
Yeah, I think I spoke on that before about last year in previous talks about how we just got worn out with all those games. But this year we just gotta keep fighting. And like you said, that question was asked earlier about what's going to happen. We don't know. We can't control it, so we just have to be ready for anything.
Hey, Ben, I remember you talking before week one. Hey, there's going to be growing pains in this offense. We're 14 games in. I mean, how do you measure growth? Especially, I know the scoreboard might be the ultimate arbiter, but I mean, still, you want to have more than 168 yards. So how do you sort of measure that? I mean, how far do you think you guys have been able to grow?
I don't think you measure anything except for the win-loss. I mean, you could sit there and say you did this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, yeah, you'd love to put up 9,000 yards of offense in a game, but it's not, it doesn't matter if you don't win the game. So we've had unbelievable offensive days where we've lost and really bad offensive days where we won. And at the end of the day, we'll take the win. And so that's what you have to measure success on, in my opinion.
Two more.
I know you joked about the moment post-game. It looked like you kind of sat down and reflected on the steps. Was that after the rushing touchdown or coming out of halftime? What was going on there during the game?
That was a misconstrued pick. Is that the best word? It was not even close to what people think, and I don't need to get into what it was, but it was not a moment of thinking about anything. So it's just a classic. Someone got a shot of something that was nothing what everyone thought it was.
Where does Arrowhead kind of rank on your favorite places to play? I mean, is it cool to have a season where you go Lambeau early in the year and then you finish up at a place like that in KC?
No, it's a special place. I wouldn't call it a favorite place to play because it's so hard and loud, but it's got a lot of great memories. The fans are awesome, so it's a hard place to play.